as far as the business of boxing?
The best thing is the fighter needs to take almost everything.
You paid all that money and had the biggest stage in boxing on Netflix, and that is really the best they could do?
He knew that he could not beat Bud Crawford, which is why they basically paid him $100 million.
Canelo admitted that he did not fight at full power against Crawford. On Joe Rogan's podcast, he said he held himself back and fought at half speed. He stayed flat-footed and allowed Crawford to look better. Canelo also accepted that money and business played a role, and he was paid to take it easy in the fight.
Well, how does that work? Because it's not pay-per-view. Do they still...
Netflix putting up the money.
So they don't get no back end then?
No, there is no back end. There's ticket sales.
Yeah, because you know, pay-per-view, the back end is the most.
There's no pay-per-view.
I guess if you give me $50 million up front, I don't really care about the back end.
After the fight, many fans and experts felt something was wrong with Canelo's performance. He didn't use his jab much and didn't throw combinations. He stood still and showed no urgency. His punch numbers were very low. At first, people thought he had slowed down because of age, but his admission changed that view.
He don't have the punching power, but he has the skills that's necessary.
Crawford.
Yeah.
So you were very impressed with his performance? Would you say?
Well, yeah. The point of the matter is, I knew if it came down to if somebody got knocked out, I thought Crawford would probably get knocked out.
Yeah.
But I know about boxing.
Oscar de la Hoya quickly questioned Canelo's performance. He said Canelo looked unusually slow and weak. Having promoted Canelo for years, de la Hoya felt this was not the real Canelo. He believed age alone could not explain such a poor showing.
When he got hit by Crawford and he took that deep breath, he's frustrated. Don't get me wrong. Canelo facing the right opponent that's going to stay in front of him, that's going to fight, that's going to make it a brawl, Canelo knocks him out. So I'm not saying Canelo's shot or done. No, it's far.
Gabe Rosado also criticized Canelo. He said Canelo had slow feet, no jab, no combinations, and threw only one punch at a time. Rosado said this looked like a fighter past his prime, not a champion. Compared to past fights, Canelo showed none of his usual pressure or sharpness.
Watching Bud catch those shots off his glove,
he looked amazing.
So amazing.
Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah. He'd go to a body and he'd catch that and come up with an uppercut. You know, just all those things that seem...
He looked great.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody do that ever.
No one has. Yeah, he's the best.
Canelo. Ever.
Yeah, he's the best.
And I think he would do that to Canelo on his best day. And Canelo said it, he goes, I couldn't figure him out.
No.
Which is...
Claressa Shields believed Canelo's body is breaking down. She felt his legs were gone and he could not throw combinations anymore. David Benavidez agreed and said Canelo now avoids risky fights. After the Crawford fight, Benavidez repeated that Canelo no longer wants tough challenges.
Have any advice for them as far as boxing business?
Because the fighters always get the less money, and some of the fighters they need to take the money, the guaranteed money, right? Because they don't make a lot of money in the fights, right? But they are
Benavidez believes Canelo is now chasing big money fights, and this will continue. De La Hoya disagreed slightly, saying Canelo is not finished but needs the right opponent. He said Canelo can still win if matched with a fighter who comes forward and fights.
You see, Canelo is a strong fighter, and every punch he throws comes with power, right? That breaks down the body. Physically, his body is breaking down. Plus, he just had a kid. Canelo wants to go enjoy his life. He wants to keep his wits, keep his mind together, stay sharp, and go enjoy a little bit of that money that he just made. But he could not pass the torch to somebody that didn't respect the game. Canelo's at the top of the list. But Terence...
According to De La Hoya, there's this belief that Canelo can still win at the elite level, but only against styles that favor him. Eddie Hearn sees the situation differently. Speaking to Sports Illustrated, he emphasized the commercial and sporting weight of a rematch with Crawford. For him, the real hook is whether Canelo can silence doubts about retirement. Fans want to know if Alvarez will show adjustments or if Crawford will push him further toward the exit. Canelo could surprise everyone with changes in his style, Hearn said, pointing to the Mexican's past ability to reinvent his tactics.
Mac, you've been training Crawford for years. Is he retired or is he going to keep fighting?
He just got to take a break.
Is Terence Crawford retired? Is he gonna keep fighting?
He's gonna keep fighting.
He's gonna keep fighting?
Yeah.
You're the man. Be man. Hey, congratulations. Enjoy the win.
Thank you.
In the first fight, Canelo impressed early. He took control of the opening rounds, landing sharp counters and keeping Crawford cautious, but momentum shifted late. Between rounds 9 and 12, Crawford seized command, landing the cleaner shots and forcing Alvarez onto the defensive. For many observers, that stretch made the difference. Hearn's view is that with a better approach to the later rounds, the outcome could flip in a rematch.
We already know. We knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try.
Chris Eubank Jr. shares that optimism, calling a second fight huge and insisting Canelo has the tools to change the story. To him, Alvarez's experience and power remain unmatched if applied correctly. His support underscored the belief shared by many fighters. Canelo still holds dangerous weapons, but he must show the willingness to adapt. Trainer Robert Garcia has also backed the rematch, arguing that hunger will be decisive. If he comes back with the hunger he needs, he could beat Crawford. Garcia told Fight Hype he believes Alvarez must avoid the strategic mistakes of the first encounter, pressing his power advantage from start to finish instead of easing off late. Garcia's perspective reflected the common theme across the sport.
I would love to see the rematch. I think in the rematch, if he comes back with the hunger that he needs, he could beat Crawford. Because Crawford, is very talented, but I think Canelo could beat him. Canelo's strong, man. Canelo's strong. Canelo could take a good punch. So I think he could just go and don't respect his punch and throw punches even though you're gonna get hit, but don't.
The win over Alvarez, whether planned or not, has opened new doors. Yet, there is debate about who he will face next. Some analysts predict he will avoid the riskiest challengers. Names like David Benz, Dimitri Bivol, Diego Pacheco, and Bektemir Malikov all pose serious physical threats with size and power that could neutralize Crawford's slickness. Facing them would be high risk with uncertain reward. Instead, the expectation is that Crawford may choose fights with marketable names that bring big purses but less danger.
Potential rematch, as a Canelo fan, I don't really want to see that. I don't think there will be much difference. I don't think Canelo can bring anything to the table that's going to surprise Crawford. He's a different fighter now. If this was 10 years ago, yes, I think the fight could have gone a different way. But there's no point in even thinking that because Canelo's a different fighter now. They fought today. They fought when Crawford is older as well. So I can't be trying to say, well, Canelo's not.
The business side of boxing comes into play here. Crawford's victory has elevated him to a position where he can demand major paydays, but careful selection of opponents will determine how long he holds on to that leverage. Meanwhile, Canelo's decision will also shape the landscape. If he chases immediate redemption against Crawford, the fight could generate enormous attention worldwide. If he opts instead for a different route, perhaps targeting a more favorable style.
Between Terence Crawford and Canelo. Personally, I do not want to see a rematch. Usually rematches are in order when it's a very close fight and you can't really tell, which fighter won. There was a lot of close rounds, swing rounds. That wasn't the case in this fight. Terence Crawford won pretty handily. I personally scored the fight 9-3. Being generous, you can give it 8-4.
Interview 13. Even though Canelo is being called out for focusing on the money, most think that not even money can save him from where he put himself for accepting the big payday against Crawford. The truth is, boxing has reached a point where money fights run everything. It doesn't matter if a fighter is past his prime or showing clear signs of slowing down. If the numbers are huge, the fight gets made. That's what happened here. Canelo was already fading, but the Crawford fight was too big financially to pass up.